What's up, guys? Nuance Bro checking in, and today we're going to be talking about journalist Andy Ngo, who was brutally attacked by Antifa in Portland on Saturday. Now, if you guys didn't already know, Andy Ngo is a journalist for Quillette. He's written stories for New York Post, Wall Street Journal, and he's known for going to Antifa events and documenting what goes on, like a journalist would do. Now, on Saturday, we can see, according to the Oregonian, Portland Antifa/right-wing protests escalate to civil disturbance. Now, Andy Ngo was going to this event, and as we can see from his Twitter, before he went to the event, he had some concerns. As we can see in this tweet from Andy, "I am nervous about tomorrow's Portland Antifa rally. They're promising physical confrontation and have singled me out to be assaulted." And if we look at the pictures, we can see posted on Rose City Antifa's website, local far-right Islamophobic journalist Andy Ngo, who participated in the Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys attack on Cider Riot on May 1st, 2019, who was the first to publicly promote the June 29th Proud Boys event, also targets the DSA while dismissing as hoaxes a series of assaults against the Portland LGBT community. And in this post, we can actually see them promoting physical confrontation. We realize there are many valid reasons why people cannot engage in physical confrontation. There are plenty of other ways to help. Be a medic. Stand together with others to create a shield that people can duck behind. Create a distraction. Cop watch. Use your imagination. There are any number of creative things that can be done to help, but we all must work together. To defeat the rising tide of fascism in the US, it is important that leftists of all stripes stand in solidarity. So as you can see in that post, they're actually telling their participants that even if they can't engage in physical confrontation, which they see as beneficial and it's something that they want to do, that they can help in other ways, like creating a distraction. A distraction for what? Maybe when they're attacking people and distracting cops from them. Now, Andy was live streaming parts of the event throughout the day, and he seemed to have been doing that with a little bit of pushback from people. Obviously, Antifa wasn't happy with him. They were saying things towards him. They weren't really happy. They were trying to block his camera, sometimes bumping into him. And then we saw this.
I just got beat up by the crowd. No police at all. In the middle of the street, and they stole my GoPro, and he punched me several times in my face, in my head. I'm bleeding. Where the hell were all of you?
Can you talk to me?
Yeah, where the hell were you?
You know your name?
My name's Andy Ngo.
You know where you're at?
I had been assaulted twice earlier today and reported it to your colleagues.
Hey,
and nothing was done.
Andy, I'd like to help you.
And I was in the middle of the street in the front documenting this.
I'd like to help you. Can you tell me?
They stole my evidence. They stole my GoPro.
So as you can see, he was very brutally beat. He was injured all over. And it seems all of this was just because Antifa knows who he is. They don't agree with his work. They don't agree with his political positions. And they wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to teach him a lesson. Now, we don't have video of the full attack, but we do have some footage of part of it.
Yo! Fucking owned, bitch!
So as you can see there, it didn't seem like Andy was fighting back against anyone. People were punching him in the face, kicking him, throwing things at him, throwing eggs, milkshakes, and we're going to get to the milkshakes a little bit more in detail in a bit. But it was a pretty brutal attack, it seems, and I'm sure things happened earlier on that were even worse, potentially. And then we got note that Andy went to the ER. As we can see from his Twitter page, he posted pictures of him in the ER, and he looks pretty brutally beat. And in this tweet from Harmeet K. Dillon, who is Andy Ngo's lawyer, we can see that she's announced an update to Andy's situation. Update to Mr. Andy Ngo supporters. He is being admitted to the hospital overnight as a result of a brain bleed. You sick journalists and other hacks gloating about this should be ashamed. As for the rest, please pray for Mr. Andy Ngo, who we need back in health. Brave man. So this isn't just a few bumps and bruises. This was an attack by a mob which led to brain bleeding. Now, people saw this attack on Andy and decided to help him out. As you can see from this tweet by Michelle Malkin, help hashtag protect Andy Ngo. Donate here. And she started a GoFundMe page. And as of this recording, we can see that they've raised over $112,000 in under 24 hours. And I think the importance of this can't be stressed enough. When a group like Antifa does something where they're attempting to censor someone, like a journalist like Andy Ngo, and they brutally beat them, that sort of activity should be disincentivized as much as possible. And if groups like that know that by taking actions like this, not only will they not censor the person that they're attempting to censor and harm and things like that, but they're actually going to raise insane amounts of money for them and make them more popular than ever. I'm sure Andy's probably going to make the rounds on media. He's probably going to go on shows like Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, perhaps even others. And I suspect his social media will go up and he'll be making more money and he'll be more prominent than ever. All because Antifa decided to try to censor him and harm him. So if things like that keep happening, where whenever they take action against a journalist, that journalist or whoever is involved in some sort of confrontation with them becomes more notable, or they get more money or whatever, then that disincentivizes Antifa from attacking those people. So anything that reduces the violence in our civil society is something I support. Now you might ask yourself, where were the police in all of this? Why was Andy attacked so brutally? Were there no police around? What were they doing? Well, this isn't an isolated incident. Portland specifically, and Portland Antifa, this is a common occurrence where the police will be present, but they actually won't do anything. And we have some ideas as to why. As you can see in this article from the Washington Times, Portland mayor stands by decision to allow Antifa to block traffic, hassle motorists. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler came under fire over a viral video showing Antifa protesters blocking traffic and harassing drivers, but he says he supports the decision by police to watch from a distance without getting involved. I was appalled by what I saw in the video, but I support the Portland Police Bureau's decision not to intervene, he said at a press conference. This whole incident will be investigated. And actually, this event was actually filmed by Andy Ngo himself in the past, so you could see why Antifa doesn't like him. We can see the video posted by journalist Andy Ngo showed protesters, including members of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, blocking an intersection and attempting to direct traffic while officers on motorcycles watched from a block away. At one point, the activists chased down 74-year-old Kent Hauser after he made a right turn against their wishes, pounding on his silver Lexus and breaking a window. The car sustained thousands of dollars in damage, he told the Oregonian. And regarding that same story, we can see from the Oregonian, Portland driver at center of viral protest video says he just wanted to escape. And if we scroll down, police on Thursday defended their hands-off approach to the demonstration. We recognize the strong community concern and interest regarding how police officers respond to crowd control situations, Chief Daniel Outlaw said in a statement. Quite a fitting last name, by the way. There is no cookie-cutter response to these events. So we can see there's a pattern of police in Portland actually excusing Antifa violence and not really stepping in when they see members of the community attacked by the mob. Such a lack of response actually incentivizes more of this behavior. If these groups know they can get away with this types of violence, even in front of police who are watching them engage in lawless activity, then they're emboldened to do more of it in the future. Now, here's the thing. In the past, you've had police departments who engaged in this type of behavior where they ignored crimes from certain groups that were targeted towards other groups. For example, in the Deep South during the Civil Rights era, you had police departments, entire police departments, that would stand idly by as white supremacist racists would beat on black civil rights protesters or just wreak terror on black communities and black people. And because those communities couldn't receive justice from their local county, city, or state, the federal government would step in and the DOJ would investigate and sometimes even prosecute those people. When police, for political reasons, actually decide to let other people in the community beat up on a minority or people of different political opinions, they are actually actively violating that person's civil rights. So in this case, I think it's absolutely appropriate for the DOJ to step in and investigate the Portland mayor and the local police department and do a full investigation to see if there was a violation of civil rights or if there's something in the policy or in their actions that leads to them discriminating against these people or not enforcing actions against these groups that exercise violence against people for different political beliefs. Now, if you remember, we talked about the milkshakes earlier in this video, and you might think to yourself, well, what's the big deal about milkshakes? It's just milk, water. It's, I guess, unpleasant to have it thrown on you, but what's the big deal? Well, Portland police actually made this announcement on their Twitter. Police have received information that some of the milkshakes thrown today during the demonstration contained quick-drying cement. We are encouraging anyone hit with a substance today to report it to police. So they weren't just milkshakes being thrown. You actually had people basically throwing effectively bricks at Andy Ngo. Now, we don't know if they were fully dried. I'm guessing they were dry because it was quick dry cement. If you don't know, cement when it's wet can actually cause burns on your skin. So it's almost kind of like a weird chemical attack in a way if it's wet. And if it's dry, of course, it's pretty dangerous because you're basically throwing a rock at someone's head or their body, and that can kill people. Now, we actually have video of some of these Antifa people who are filling up cups with these milkshakes. Now, I don't know if these milkshakes are actual milkshakes or if they are the quick dry cement ones that the police were referring to earlier, but we can see in this clip, they're actually filling up Antifa branded logo cups with these milkshakes. Now, luckily, there were at least some people arrested. We don't know who these people were in some of the videos that we've seen, but we know there have been arrests made, at least 3, as we can see from this article. From Fox 12, 3 people arrested during protests in downtown Portland. Police seek information on assaults. And if we scroll down, we can see these 3 people right here. Now, I didn't see it mentioned anywhere whether these people were Proud Boys or if they were Antifa, but I did a little bit of research myself, and I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I did take a look at least 2 of the 3 of these people's Facebook pages, and let's just say it seems pretty clear that they were Antifa members. And I just have to say about all of this, it was kind of depressing to see how many people who disliked Andy just because of his political beliefs or the way he's covered issues, that even though this attack happened and it was objectively pretty brutal, they still kind of defended it. In a way, they used this rationale of, oh, he was asking for it. The same way, these same people who talk about victim blaming narratives all the time as a bad thing about, oh, you said she deserved to be raped because she went out and she was wearing a short skirt and she was asking for it. How could you say that? That's so bad. But in effect, they are saying the same sort of thing about Andy, saying, well, he knows how dangerous it is and he knows that he's not liked by those people and he's constantly instigating them. You're eventually bound to get hit, and I'm not going to act surprised or be sympathetic to someone like that. I mean, it's ridiculous that they have these insane double standards, these obvious double standards. I mean, the hypocrisy is just off the charts with some of these people, but it was nice to see that some people, at least in the mainstream media, like Brian Stelter, who has praised Antifa in the past, but at least decided to come out and say that this attack on Andy Ngo was unacceptable. You even had Jake Tapper coming out, attacking Antifa kind of directly and saying, Antifa regularly attacks journalists. It's reprehensible. So it was nice to see that sort of sentiments from some of the mainstream figures, but people on LeftTube, for the most part, seem to have been pretty quiet about this on Twitter. And if they ever did say anything, it seemed to be more along the lines of, well, what did you expect when you did something like that? And I don't feel bad for this person who's clearly this right-wing hack and things like that. And it's honestly just pretty disgusting. So I figured I would just update you guys if you didn't already know about this story. I hope Andy recovers quickly and is well. I hope he makes the rounds on all the media channels and things like that. And I hope he gets the story out there. I hope more support and more money comes his way as a way of disincentivizing this sort of behavior in the future from Antifa. They need to know that if they ever engage in this type of violence against people, that it's going to backfire on them 10 or 100-fold. Anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Social media links are in the description box below, as well as merch. And I'll see you next time, bro.